Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of RCW. So it's been a little bit. It's been about, I think, a week since we've done the last episode. I know that it's been a week according to the YouTube side of things since we've done an episode. And I've just been busy with school and everything else and trying to grind out these last, I believe, like 7 to 8 weeks of my semester left. So, I basically got like a month and a half, or not even, left until I graduate. So, things have been kind of slow in terms of the YouTube content creation department, but I plan on taking some time tomorrow, hopefully, to make some YouTube videos and, get them edited and get them out to you guys. But here's a couple of things that you'll see that are going to be a little bit different here on RCW. And one of those things is we have new looks to the championships. As we continue RCW here. So I went ahead and I made some changes to the championships. I felt that, there could be some better designs to them. And this is not the first time that I've redesigned the championships here in RCW. I've done it many, many times since going through the seasons, and we're at, I believe, season 8 now. So it's been a while, and we've gone through many different design changes for the titles. So you'll definitely see some of them today on the show, but I thought I'd let you guys know that there will be changes from the titles, and we are still continuing the charity streams for the entire month of October. October 22nd is the day now, and we are still continuing the charity streams for the entire month of October in support of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Actually, today is Wear Purple Day today, in awareness of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So that means, you wear purple in awareness for the victims of a tragic thing as it is in domestic violence. And I found that out today, actually, that today is Wear Purple Day. So what better way to celebrate it than to, stream? And we've been doing this these charity streams for the entire month of October, and it's been awesome. Just having the feeling of giving back to other people and, making a difference, and in the times that we live in right now with the pandemic, it's all about helping other people. It's always been, but in times now especially, with small businesses and with people losing their homes possibly, or whatever, I feel like this year now more than ever has been a year of where we as a community, we as a country have to, come together, because we're all fighting this virus and this pandemic, and we're all trying to find ways to entertain ourselves and to get through this together. And, that's kind of what inspired the charity stream. Not only my story of, going through relationship abuse and stuff like that, and the story of Sky Outlaw that is going to be outlined in my book that I'm writing, but also just, I've always been that type of person to want to help people, to want to make a difference in any way that I can, in any shape or form that I can, in terms of a person's life. And it's kind of been engraved in me since I was, young, since I was a young boy, that it's been engraved in me to help other people and to just be there and to just put a smile on people's faces. And that's what I try and do with the content that I produce. So with that being said, I thank you guys so much for being here with me and for raising awareness with me and for the donations that you guys have done, the awareness of it, and just continuing to spread positivity, and however you decide to help, whether it's donating, whether it's raising awareness of the stream, or simply just being that open ear for somebody to listen in times of need, that's directly supporting the cause in any way, shape, or form. And it's awesome, and I always try to be that open ear for people to listen. And a little disclaimer here, I often make jokes about, my disability, my physical disability, and my situation, and that is not to offend anyone whatsoever. That is just to kind of make light of it, because we find ourselves in situations that that could be awful for us, whatever that situation is. And to me, if you can find a way to smile and find a way to make that situation less crappy for yourself, and to find a way to get through life without letting it get to you as much, then you're doing a great job. And that's what I try and do with my jokes. So if you hear me crack, a really messed up joke, it's not meant to offend anyone. It's just kind of the way I cope and the way that I do things. So don't take it personally. Don't take anything that I say in regards to that personally. But I try to do that so I can show people that whatever situation that you're going through, try to find some way to smile. Whatever it is, if it's through humor or if it's, taking your mind off of it entirely and thinking of something positive instead of dwelling in the negative, and all that. So I thank you guys so much for everything that you have done in this stream and in this time that we find ourselves in, and in the awareness of domestic violence. So I thank you guys for that. So for our first match today, we will have Sinister, formerly known as Young Sin, going up against Finn Balor here in a normal RCW exhibition match, and Brian Outlaw, the RCW World Champion, is going to be at ringside with him. So Sinister, formerly known as Young Sin, he will be taking on Darby Allin in just a few episodes at the RCW Ascend pay-per-view for the RCW Carnage Championship. So that should be very, very exciting. Also, we'll have Luna Outlaw taking on Amaya Blackwell and Toni Storm in a triple threat match for the RCW Women's title. And I believe next episode we will have a tag team battle royal. So basically one representative from a tag team that we have here will be in a match, and the last person in the ring will be declared the winner, and that team will get a shot at the RCW tag team titles. So that team will get a shot at those titles at RCW Ascend. So that should be awesome. We'll have that for you next episode. But let's get into our first match today, as we have Sinister versus Finn Balor. So you have Young Sin coming out here first. Or Sinister, I should say. It's going to take me a little bit because Young Sin told me that he changed the name of his character. So I wanted to go ahead and change that for him. Now Sin has been going through some attitude changes or some mood swings. I don't really know how to describe them, but he is responsible for putting Bryce Blackwell on the shelf in that No Holds Barred match a couple episodes ago, and that match was brutal. The heads in bed through the announce table and through both of the announce tables, putting him out of his misery basically. And that was very horrible to watch. That was very, very rough to watch. And same thing happened to Big Nasty there against Lance Archer. But we have Finn Balor here. coming out as we have here on stream. We have the little ribbon in the corner there. As we have Finn Balor here. Now, Finn Balor has challenged Bryan Outlaw for the RCW World title once before, and obviously Bryan Outlaw came out with the victory there. And now Finn Balor finds himself in an interesting spot here, because if he can get a win over Sinister here, if he can get a win over Sin here, that's gonna be huge for him, because he already has a title spot in hand at RCW Ascend against Darby Allin, so that easily could become a triple threat match. But Sinister, or Sin in this case, he wants to keep it a mano-a-mano, a one-on-one matchup. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that here, as we have our arena, our Worth More arena here, all decked out in purple. As we have Sinister and Finn Balor going at it. Now, you may notice a little bit different here. I have the HUD off. Now I just have the controller help here, so I know when I have a signature and a finisher here, but that's about it. So we have Sin with launching Finn Balor with the German suplex there as Bryan Outlaw looks on. Now Bryan Outlaw and Sin and the Outlaws, they have developed quite the relationship here. There's a German suplex into a bridge, into a 1 count there. And they've developed quite the relationship. Because, well, Sin and the Blackwells and pretty much everybody else here in RCW that has come to know the Blackwells, they don't really like him too well. It's a long dart right into the second turnbuckle to Finn Balor there. And it'd be very interesting to see the build to this relationship here with Sin and the Outlaws. But, you know, Bryan likes to look out for his friends, and that's what I think he's doing here. Is Finn Balor with a reversal into the corner, kick to the midsection here, and a sunset flip here. One, and young Sin able to kick out there. Now Sin grabbing the foot of Finn Balor. And then, oh my, what a knee and a lariat, turning Finn Balor inside out. I believe that was like a knee to the midsection, then a huge lariat there. And Sin just toying away here. With Finn Balor, it's a body slam here right into the middle of that purple RCW logo there. Now Irish whip into the ropes, and a German suplex, picking Finn Balor out of the air into a bridge and a 1 count. A 1 count here is, I think it's going to be heads in bed here for Finn Balor, as Finn Balor is down for the count here. 1, 2, and Finn Balor with a kick out at 2.5 here. Heads in beds. Or heads in bed, however you want to call it there. For Sin, is Sin now working on the arm of Finn Balor, but Finn Balor though firing back here with a couple of punches right to the midsection, right to those abs there of Sin. Irish whip now into the ropes in his own here, and Finn Balor with a sling blade. Not much charge under that. Usually he gets a little bit of a running start, but not much of a running start there for Finn, but nonetheless able to get it there as a double foot stomp to the chest and a dragon screw leg whip. What a dragon screw leg whip we are seeing here. And this offense here from Sin. You know, and I doubt that there's any, you know, animosity here in this match here. You know, I think, you know, a lot of that was seen in the match with Bryce Blackwell and Sin before. But, you know, I'm pretty sure Sin had a very logical reasoning behind injuring Bryce Blackwell there. The knee right to the face looked to be a go to sleep here, but a kick out at one. Kick out at one there. Not a 2 count that time. And he continues to... Oh, I thought he was going to go after the back there, but it seemed to be the arm served as one of the targets. Oh, what a shot to the chest from Finn Balor there after the kick right to the back. And now he's going to go for the cover here. 1. And Sin kicked out fairly quickly there. Just a 1 count there. Tried for a kick to the back. Got out of that predicament there. Turns it around. My God, another one there. Right into the cover. 1, 2. And Finn Balor again with the kick out. And now Sin ascending to the top rope here. But Finn gets right back up. He gets right back up and is met with a double axe handle. Maybe that was very ill-advised there. And now again, Sin going after the back of Finn Balor and a kick right to the side of the face. Manipulating those fingers there of Finn Balor. And oh, another shot to the back with those knees. Irish whip now. Now Sin charging in with a shoulder tackle to the outside. And now Finn Balor is left on the outside here, but a splash. What a huge splash. But I believe Finn got the knees up from that and a downward spiral there. Right on the outside to Sin. As the referee continues to count here, we're at a count of 3 and a... Oh my God, face first right into the announce table. Face first right into the announce table here. But Brian Outlaw paying dividends here, helping out Sin. And again, right to the face. 1, 2, and Finn again with the kick out. Finn again with the kick out as Sin drags the lifeless body of Finn Balor. Now, another stomp to the arm. Now Sin very gingerly climbing up to the top rope getting a little tired here. As he calls Finn Balor up to his feet here. Calling Finn Balor up to his feet, going for that double axe handle again. Another double axe handle. And now Sin going up to the second rope from the other corner. Oh my, what a knee. Dropping the knee. And no. Sin, you can't use that. You're not allowed to use any type of weaponry here, as this is a regular RCW matchup. Disqualifications do apply, but now that gives a chance for Finn to come back here. That gives a chance for Finn to come back, and that's a DDT. 1, 2, and he's almost got Sin, but Sin kicks out at 2.5 here. And now that allows Sin to get back, but Brian Outlaw distracting. He's distracted Finn, and that allows him to hit the Sinister switch here. But a rope break saves Finn Balor. A rope break is saving Finn Balor here. Now what's next here? Oh my. What a Sinister neck breaker. The swinging Sinister neck breaker. And Sinister and Sin gets the win here over Finn Balor. Just when it looked like Finn Balor was going to come back here in this match, there was nothing there, but not without the help of Brian Outlaw. As it looked, Sin was in a world of hurt here in for it 2 times in this match, but Finn Balor was distracted by Brian Outlaw, and that allowed Sin to take advantage. And now Sin must be looking right ahead to that RCW Ascend pay-per-view, as we will move on here to our next match, folks. As now we have Luna Outlaw, the RCW Women's Champion, with Whitney White here at ringside going up against Hikaru Shida. Now this is where you will see one of the newly designed RCW championships here. And that should be really exciting, as I'm excited to show those off for you guys. I've taken screenshots of them personally on Xbox, but I haven't showed them off yet because I wanted to have you guys see them. And it's going to be better for you guys to see them once they're on the line at the pay-per-view. It's kind of hard sometimes to actually see when they're walking out, but you're going to get a deeper, closer look at the redesigns when we put them on the line at RCW Ascend. However, under RCW rules, champions are allowed to put their titles on the line at any time, at any given place or any given time here. So they can decide to have like an open challenge if they do desire to have one. I don't know how many champions would do that, except John Cena, of course, with his US title, but they can do that if they so choose. But let's get to this match here. Luna Outlaw with Whitney White here at her side with Hikaru Shida. As we have Luna Outlaw coming out here, and that's the newly designed championship. And I know it looks black from the match lighting, but it's actually pink. Actually, the design of it is actually pink. It's just the way the lighting has it in game that it's not like that. So the design of it is actually pink, but it's brand new. It's not as see, you can see the pink right there. It all depends on the lighting, like I had mentioned. So sometimes it's hard to see the actual color of the titles, but there, you can get a better look at it now. A little bit. It depends on, like I said, it all depends on the lighting. There you go. You can get a nice look at that there. Is Luna Outlaw there with the title? We're going to take a quick picture of that real quick there. As we have Hikaru Shida making her way out here. And I wanted to do the full entrance there so you guys can get to see the title. As Hikaru Shida comes out here now, very, very quick is Hikaru Shida in her very striking style. She reminds me of a little bit of Shinsuke Nakamura in his quick striking style, hailing from Japan. I believe she was in Stardom at one point as well, the all-women's promotion in Japan, and her quick striking ability is going to come in handy too. And Luna is quick on her own feet as well, so this is a test to see who's a lot quicker as we get this match underway here. There's a spear real quick here to Hikaru Shida, knocking out the wind out of Hikaru Shida there, grabbing the hair. Not too much of it though, and now going for those elbows right to the skull of Shida here. Now Luna using the second rope for a little bit of leverage there to help her out with that Hurricane Rana. Irish whip now into the ropes, and now looking for that drop kick, connects with it with perfect precision there. But Shida, though, sweeps the champion off of her feet and a kick right to the back. Is Shida now looking to get some work done here on the champion, and a kick right to the midsection. Now working on the arm now as Whitney watches on. Crazy Whitney White watches on there. I think it's a good time as any to shout out Deftest Violator, one of my good friends. There's a huge knee there, huge knee strike there to the champion, and that is his character there, Whitney White of the NWO Wrestling League. You can check him out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Deftest Violator. We also have Sakate, one of my good friends. He's also a mod of the channel. And we also have Sin as well, young Sin as well, who you just saw his character, Sinister, in the previous match. And they're all on Twitch, and they all have their own wrestling leagues, BCW and the Epic Wrestling League here as a drop kick right to the outside. And now she's got Shida right where she wants her, but she's taking her to the rampway here. Makes you wonder what she's got in store here. Oh, but look at this here. A blackout combination here on the rampway. She's doing a little bit of gloating here as Shida is on the rampway here. Count of 6 here. We have a count out of 20. And we did that as a rule change. I believe it was this season we did that as a rule change, is in response to the potential to have matches end in draws, and that's not necessarily a horrible thing, but I prefer for our matches to have definitive winners and everything. There's nothing like having a fantastic match just for it to end in a draw. I find that to be very disappointing here as our screenshots are getting uploaded to the Xbox side of things. A kick right to the back, and now Shida's looking to end Luna Outlaw here. Shida! She's got it up, and Shida with the GTS! Shida with the GTS into a knee strike, knocking out Luna Outlaw there, knocking out the champion. Now the champion is reeling here. The champion is reeling as Whitney White. Whitney White given some time. She gave some time, but not enough time for Luna to get up as she got her lights taken out from that knee strike. Very good decision there from Shida. I mean, despite the distraction, that wasn't even enough. It's a kick out at 1. And now Shida's thinking, what do I have to do here? What do I have to do to get the champ to stay down? This could turn into a fatal 4-way if she's able to get the win here, and the knees right to the back of the champion. And Luna's reeling, so she decides to take a bit of a breather. And Shida's coming in after her. Turns around. Oh, what a kick. What a kick. Oh, but now Shida's coming back. Shida's coming back with the uppercut. Tried for an enziguri perhaps, but no. Shida though. Shida with a drop toe hold. And the champion's face is met with concrete. Throwing her back into the ring here. Whitney White's loving what she's seeing here as Luna's taking advantage here. Luna's propping her up for that huge pile driver. My God, drops her right on her head. 1, 2, and Shida with the kick out at 2.5. Shida kicked out at 2.5 here. Champion finds herself reeling. Now it's the challenger in a little bit of trouble here as she gets propped up. Oh, but Shida turns it around. Shida now with a kick in the corner. Shida now taking the champion right into the corner and a huge knee strike. Referee got caught there. I'm not sure how our referee got out of that predicament, but nonetheless, he was able to get out of it. Kick right to the chest of Luna here. And now she's fired up. She's fired up here. Oh my God, what a knee. What a knee. What a huge knee. But the referee gets pulled out of the ring. The referee got pulled out of the ring by Whitney. And again, that's saved. That saved her. 1, 2. And oh my, just enough time as Shida went for the cover again. Referee had to get back in the ring after dealing with Whitney. And Shida is literally having this win stripped from underneath her. She should have won there, but because of Whitney's antics, she's right back in. The champion's right back in, trying to go for a knee of her own. Shida got out of it. Shida tried to go for a knee. But a guilty verdict here. A rolling cutter, a guilty verdict. 2. And a kick out there. As you saw Whitney. She had put the chair inside the ring there. And now throwing her face first into the chair. Trying to go for an enziguri off of that. A little bit of a lackluster cover and Shida still kicked out. I don't know how many people that take a chair shot right to the face. And who knows how much momentum was behind that throw that threw her into that chair in the corner. It's now a back suplex there to Shida. And now Luna's looking to end this one. Luna's looking to end this one here with a dawning. What a dawning here. Some type of STO, but Shida refuses to go down without a fight here. Shida refusing to go down as a drop kick. Missed. Tried for an enziguri, but she got caught. Oh no. Shida got caught here into the shadow submission. She ran right into the end of the shadow submission. Nowhere for Shida to go. Nowhere for Shida to go here, and Shida's got a tap. My God, just like that, she kicked out of the dawning. I'm not too sure what Shida was trying to go for there. Maybe an enziguri to just try and create some space. But she ran right into the end of the shadow submission, and it was all over from there. As Luna gets the victory. And my God, what a victory it is. As she is going in to that title match. That triple threat title match against Amaya Blackwell and Toni Storm with full force. And mind you, in a triple threat match, Luna does not need to be involved to lose her title. This is not a triple threat elimination. This is a triple threat match, meaning that any pinfall or any submission can happen, whether Luna is involved in it or not. So, Luna's got to be on top of her game here. She's got to be on top of her game. She's got to have her game face on for that match coming up here. But let's get on to our next match, folks, here as we go over to the break screen. As we have possibly one of the biggest dream matches that we have ever seen here in RCW, as Darby Allin, the RCW Carnage Champion, is going to be taking on the 619 Master in Rey Mysterio. Expect a lot of action here in this match. Not that you should expect anything less from RCW here, but this match, folks, is going to be crazy. Now again, the same rule could apply here. Rey Mysterio gets a win. That one-on-one match with Sinister, with Sin, and that for the RCW Carnage title could be a triple threat. So we'll see what happens here as Darby Allin and Rey Mysterio. Here he is, the RCW Carnage Champion, Darby Allin. And I know it's kind of hard to see that that red there, that red plate on the title, but it is red, trust me. But you can see the RCW logo is a lot more prominent on each of the titles here. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do for this title, for all my titles, is make it a little bit more prominent here as our champion comes out. And here we go with his challenger. (619) Rey Mysterio. Makes his way out here. Now this is possibly the biggest match of his RCW career, and I know I've said it multiple times, but any match with title implications is a big match, nonetheless. It's Rey Mysterio. Looks to get a win here over Darby Allin, possibly make this a triple threat. As we get this underway here, Darby Allin and Rey Mysterio, and Darby Allin's charging in with a kick right to the mask of Rey Mysterio. That luchador culture, the lucha libre culture, meaning a lot to Rey Mysterio and the Mysterio family. It's an Irish whip to the corner here, sends Darby Allin in the corner. Again, Rey Mysterio charging in with a flying forearm to the champion. Now Rey Mysterio, I believe he hasn't won any titles in RCW history as long as this show has been around. But he has been a part of some big matches. Nonetheless. It's Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio! I thought he was already looking for the 619. But apparently not. As Darby Allin sends Rey Mysterio down here. Kick to the back of Rey. Now another knee. A knee right to the back of Rey Mysterio. Now, this could be very possible here. He's not going to be able to hit that splash that he likes to hit. Oh, but now Darby Allin. Darby Allin throwing caution to the wind with a tope suicida through the second rope. And that right there, folks, is why he is RCW Carnage Champion and why he has been for quite some time. After winning the title against Shawn Winters at RCW Rebirth, oh, what an arm drag there. And that match right there at RCW Rebirth, that match literally was a David and Goliath story there. Shawn Winters, a mountain of a man, in which I believe he was 6'3", easily 150 pounds, maybe possibly 170 pounds heavier than Darby Allin. What everybody thought was possibly going to be a squash match turned into one of the biggest matches and one of the most entertaining matches I've ever called in my career here at RCW, but that is behind Darby Allin now. He's got to look forward here, and he's got to stay focused in this match here as Rey Mysterio going after the leg. Now Rey Mysterio ascending to the top. Rey Mysterio with a splash! But I don't know how much he got of it, considering that Darby Allin was working his way up to his feet. I don't know how much he got of it. Oh, and a leg DDT here. From Rey Mysterio, but an Irish whip. Irish whip as Darby Allin now charging in. Now Darby Allin looking to do some damage here. Darby Allin trying for the middle rope senton, but Rey Mysterio looking to take advantage of it. Looking to take advantage here. Almost getting the win. Almost. That huge miscue almost cost Darby Allin the match. And it's things like that that may hurt him. And now, Rey Mysterio going for the 619. Rey Mysterio ascending to the top, looking for the splash, but Darby Allin got the knees up. Darby Allin got the knees up, and now, this is what a match this is. It's a head scissor takedown from Rey Mysterio, and again going for the cover. Not even a 1 count this time. Darby Allin paints half of his face because he's half dead inside. And it may seem that Darby Allin's got some special power, special momentum in him. Because I don't know what's keeping him alive here. It's a sunset flip powerbomb. 1, 2. And Rey Mysterio with a kick out at 2.5. Rey Mysterio with the resilience. But Darby Allin, he's not stopping there. Darby Allin got him against the ropes here. Darby Allin, my God, what a cutter from Darby Allin. But now both men are down. Darby Allin getting the hand over the chest of Mysterio, and Mysterio just able to get the shoulder up at 2.5. And as you can see, Mysterio hasn't moved. But Darby Allin is wondering what he's got to do here. He's thrown absolutely everything that he can. Now with a kick to the midsection here, Darby Allin. Darby Allin! My God, what a top rope moonsault. Collapsing on Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio firing back. Rey Mysterio with a crucifix. Thought about going for a cover, maybe not. And now Rey. Rey going up top. As he's calling Darby Allin to his feet. And he takes him down. Oh no. Darby Allin, very smart though. Rolling out to the outside. Giving himself some time, and Rey was looking to go after Darby Allin. But was only met with concrete. Now, oh my God! Face first goes Rey Mysterio into the ring post. Oh, but now Rey. Rey now working on the arm of Darby Allin. Looking to carry him over to the steps. Oh my! And then busted him wide open on the steps. Count of 6 here. As Rey was trying to lift up Darby Allin. As now he gets in at a count of 8 here. What was Rey going for there? I'm not too sure. Met with an Irish whip though, nonetheless. Tossing him back into the ring. Oh, he could be looking for something dangerous here. He's got to be looking for something dangerous. My God, he throws Rey Mysterio to the outside. Darby Allin! Darby Allin, my God! Darby Allin taking down Rey Mysterio. He just took down Rey Mysterio. I have never seen that. I have never seen a man come running at 100 miles an hour at a man like Rey Mysterio. Now going for the pin here. 1, 2, and oh my! Rey Mysterio was about like milliseconds away from losing this match, but he's still coming back. Oh, tried for the senton, and Rey got out of the way. And now Rey looking for it one more time. 619. And now Rey. Rey, he's going for it. Rey, my God, Rey with a reverse Rana. 1, 2. Darby Allin got the shoulder up at 2.5. Darby Allin's still in this. And I don't know how either of these men are even moving right now. Rey Mysterio is pumped up. Darby Allin is gushing blood from his forehead. I wonder how the makeup team's going to feel about that ruining his face paint, but a kick right to the back of Darby Allin. And it just goes to show the lengths that Darby Allin is willing to go to solidify himself as the RCW Carnage Champion, as he's going for the Sunset Flip Powerbomb. He's going for the Sunset Flip Powerbomb, was able to connect. Now this is exactly what Darby Allin wants. Just when you think you finished him off, he's coming right back, and this is what's gonna happen. Here is a cutter! A cutter right off of the second rope. Or the third rope, excuse me. Maybe he used the second rope a little bit for leverage to get on the top. But 1, 2, 3, and Darby Allin. Darby Allin fighting back to get the victory here over Rey Mysterio, but take absolutely nothing away from Rey Mysterio, as that was a dominant performance. And I guarantee We will see these two yet again, but Darby Allin gets the victory. Looking forward to his match against Sin at RCW Ascend. As we move on to our next match, folks. Let's get it ready. As we have Kenny Omega versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, Kenny Omega has had a couple run-ins with Drew McIntyre. Had a couple run-ins with Kevin Owens. And Tommaso Ciampa, he's had a couple of battles himself with Keith Lee. And it makes me wonder what is going to happen for the both of these men here. Both of these guys here are just they're in quite the pickle here, because now, you know, Kevin Owens, he got the victory over Kenny Omega. Tommaso Ciampa we haven't seen in quite some time. So now, these two men may have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And we'll see who will prevail here in just a few moments. It is Kenny Omega and Tommaso Ciampa. As we have the best bout machine coming out here. There he is, Kenny Omega. And the cleaner is looking to clean house. As he comes out here ready to face a man in Tommaso Ciampa. A man that I never thought we would see. Now, Kenny Omega had a chance for the tag team titles, but came up short there. But he must turn his attention, his full attention, to Tommaso Ciampa here. As Ciampa makes his way to the ring. And now Ciampa, you know, with his history with Keith Lee and Kenny Omega's history with Kevin Owens, it wouldn't surprise me if either of those two men are watching this match very closely tonight. Like his song says, no one will survive, but will Kenny Omega, the best bout machine, hear his battle cry and be able to defeat and survive Tommaso Ciampa? We'll find out here in just a few moments as we get this match underway, folks. It is Kenny Omega and Tommaso Ciampa. Here we go as the referee gets us underway, and a V-trigger knee strike right to start this one off. And Kenny Omega's already starting off on a good feet, but Ciampa now. Ciampa with the chops in the corner. Ciampa again with a third one. And now that chokehold there, referee's got to get a handle on this. This is illegal here. And Ciampa trying to act all innocent as if something didn't happen there. Not even a 1 count very early on. Kenny Omega turning it around, kick right to the midsection, and a shot right to the back of the neck of Ciampa. Now Ciampa having to deal with a neck injury, which put him out for quite some time. Be interesting to see if that becomes a target for Kenny Omega here down the line. And now Kenny Omega, Kenny with the suplex, the back suplex right onto the apron, the hardest part of the ring. Sending Ciampa to the outside, but he's right there to meet him. And the count begins. And like I said, the cleaner's looking to clean house. Oh, what a kick to the side of the face of Kenny Omega. Now a count of 5 here. Oh, what a shot. What a shot and a big boot to Kenny Omega. And now the cleaner is getting cleaned. Or cleansed, I should say. Count of 8 here. 9. 10, and we're at a count of 10 here. Count of 20 is our countouts normally here in RCW, and you just saw it right there. Referee did not stop. Referee did not stop. There is a huge knee strike right to Kenny Omega, right to the side of the face of Kenny. And now Kenny whipping around. Oh my, what a ripcord knee strike. What another V-trigger. 1. My God. Look at this here. The carnage here that we're seeing, no pun intended, considering that is the title, that is the name of one of our championships. This could be a main event within itself, but we still have our main event to come tonight. There's a slap to the face, and now Kenny Omega drops. Ciampa on the back of his neck here, right on the knee. And that's going to cause some future problems there, but oh, what a jawbreaker, and a huge big boot turns Kenny inside out. A huge big boot turning Kenny inside out, and now Ciampa now calling Kenny to his feet as he ascends on the top rope and takes Kenny down. I don't think I've ever seen Kenny mauled like this. Oh, but a rake to the eyes. Referee didn't see it. And now Ciampa's looking to take the head right off as he kneed him right in the side of the face. And Ciampa almost got Kenny. And now Kenny is busted open. I don't know if you could notice there, but he is busted open as he's looking at our fairy tale ending, but Kenny caught him. And a huge boot. Now he's looking to take him down again. Kenny takes Ciampa down again. Utilizing that knee of his. Now a huge stomp to the back of the neck again. Ciampa holding his knee. He may have injured it at some point during this match. May have tweaked it during that knee strike. But who knows? There's a suplex here. To Ciampa, and now an Irish whip. And taking him down to the outside here. And again, sending him back in. Now this makes you wonder what's Kenny looking to do? Oh, Ciampa reversed it though. Ciampa Irish whip into the ropes here. Unable to hit that lariat. A little bit disoriented, I may add. Standing switch here by Ciampa. And oh my! Taking down Kenny Omega is Ciampa, and Ciampa again going up top. This is very unlike Ciampa. Oh my! What a knee drop there. I don't see Ciampa going up top too much. It's not very like him, but nonetheless, I guess you got to try out new things. Especially when you're going up against somebody like Kenny Omega. Now he's looking to turn it around. What's he doing here? Snapdragon suplex. 1, 2. And Ciampa kicked out at 2.5. Ciampa kicked out at 2.5. And now Kenny's looking to take Ciampa somewhere. Lying him against the ropes here. This could spell bad. I've seen him do this multiple times as he sends Ciampa to the outside. And I think we're going to see it. The one-winged angel flies again as he takes down Tommaso Ciampa. Check out this replay. The one-winged angel ascending to the skies, taking down Ciampa. As now he gets him back in. Rolling him over for the cover. 1, 2. And Ciampa again. What a kick out from Ciampa. Makes me wonder, how much guts does Ciampa have? He's got a lot of them if he's still willing to continue here. And a big slap to the face. Oh, another slap. Oh my, what a neck breaker. But a reversal. There, now Kenny and Ciampa on the outside as Kenny does a little bit of redecorating to that announce table and sends Ciampa into the apron face first. Ciampa though, Ciampa pushing him away. Sidestepping him, what a chop. What a slap across the face there. Oh, what's he doing? Underhook, my God, dropping him right on his neck. He dropped him right on his neck. As these two continue to destroy each other as a German suplex. My God, another knee and another huge knee. Count of 11 now. Count of 12. And this is why we have the countouts of 20 here. That is why we have them. For that exact reason, as Kenny Omega sends Ciampa down. And a count of 2 and a kick out of 2.5 here. And I'm surprised that Ciampa is still going. And now Kenny's going to go up top. Kenny with a moonsault from the top rope. 1, 2. And Ciampa kicked out at 2.5. Ciampa got the shoulder up again. What does Kenny got to do here? As Ciampa sweeps him off of his feet. Now Ciampa's looking to finish Kenny here. Ciampa, oh my God, what knees to the back of Kenny Omega? 1, 2, 3, and he just got him. Just like that, the knees. Right to the back. And Ciampa is able to battle back and get Kenny Omega. Wow. I guess his song still remains true. No one will survive. And Ciampa survives a bout with the best bout machine in Kenny Omega. As we move on to our main event of the evening. As now we have a no-holds-barred match with Chris Danger and Jon Moxley. Now Chris Danger had that Hell in a Cell match with AJ Styles, and those two have been butting heads for quite some time, and this match type here, this no-holds-barred match, favors someone like Moxley. It definitely favors someone like Moxley, so I would definitely be a little scared here if I was Chris Danger. Well, maybe not. Maybe scared is not the right word. Maybe cautious is the better terminology there. But Jon Moxley is a bad, bad man, and Chris Danger is going to find that out right away. As we have Jon Moxley and Chris Danger here, no holds barred in our main event. Here we go. As we have Chris Danger coming out first, the internet darling of professional wrestling. He has been all over the place. Absolutely everywhere. Because now Chris Danger is going to be in for the fight of his life. And I know I probably said that in his match against AJ Styles inside Hell in a Cell. But this match is even bigger because you're dealing with someone like Jon Moxley. And we're going to get him out here. Jon Moxley. As he comes through the crowd, the master of violence, unscripted violence that is. Is in Jon Moxley. But Chris Danger though, Chris Danger not looking to wait here as Chris Danger ambushes Jon Moxley. With jacket on and all, Chris Danger decides to ambush Jon Moxley during his entrance. And that may have just backfired here for him. That may have just backfired as Moxley got taken down, though, with a baseball slide. Taking out the knees of Moxley. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe this is paying off. As Moxley's like, come on, Chris, come on. As now the jacket has come off. The gloves are off now. And this match has officially started. It's now Chris Danger, though. Chris Danger with an Irish whip. Oh my God, shoulder first into the back of Moxley. You gotta be quick with Moxley. You have to be. As Moxley is down for the cover here. Kick out at 1. Not even a 1 count, that is. And now, what a back suplex there. From Jon Moxley. And an arm drag there. Saving Chris Danger and a couple of knees to the back now. As Chris is doing a little bit of taunting here on Moxley. I don't know how wise that is. As Chris Danger going up top. Chris Danger allowing himself to go up top here. Trying to hit a forearm of some sort from the top. But Moxley caught that right-handed. And now Chris finds himself in the corner. A fury of strikes from Mox in the corner. This is vintage Mox here. And what an elbow. Sending Chris down. Now looking for a crossface here. Looking for a crossface here on Chris. Crossface on Chris. But Chris able to break out of that one. And an elbow right to the face. Irish whip into the ropes here. Oh my. Props up Jon Moxley and 2 feet to the face. Looking for the Philly special knee strike, but is met with a neck breaker instead. But what? What's happening here? AJ Styles. AJ Styles coming in. AJ Styles coming in to attack Moxley. And a Styles clash to Moxley. Chris Danger doesn't even know what the hell happened. But Moxley, with the kick out, trying to send a message to Chris Danger. Trying to send a message to Chris Danger saying, I'm not done with you yet. And a huge super kick from Chris. And oh my God, another suplex. And Mox decides to roll out, and now he's going to redecorate the announce table. He's going to do a little bit of redecorating here in RCW and a rolling Sabat kick right into the announce table. Chest first. A little bit of Street Fighter there from Chris Danger. Oh, another throw right into the announce table. And Chris Danger is taking over this match. And this is something I have not seen at all from someone like Mox. I've never seen him be taken over like this. Well, you can give a hand to AJ Styles there as a reversal there. Inverted DDT. Maybe Mox could use this to come back. And now Mox. Mox has got Chris into the paradigm shift. Right on the outside. The paradigm shift. Now he's got him against the table. And, oh, face first goes Chris Danger. A little bit dazed, and a drop kick right there sends Chris Danger down. And just like that, Mox is right back in this thing. And he's grabbing a bat. He's grabbing a bat here right on Chris Danger. Beating the living hell out of Chris Danger here. He is a weapon within himself, and he is fired up. But he's not afraid to use weapons if he needs to. And Moxley absolutely fired up as he gets him in the corner, and a bulldog there to Chris Danger. sending a huge message to AJ Styles as well, but a kick to the midsection and a taste of danger out of nowhere. A taste of danger out of nowhere. 1, 2, and Moxley kicked out at 2.5. Moxley kicked out of Chris Danger's taste of danger. And now Chris is fired up. Chris is trying to battle back. He's trying to battle back desperately now. And now drop kick from Chris Danger, and now Chris is fired up. He's firing on all cylinders here as he ascends to the top rope. Again, this is no holds barred. Chris Danger, my God. Chris Danger again looking for the Philly special, but again Jon Moxley battling back. Now he's Chris looking for a breather. Mox looking to charge away, and my God. I don't know how much he got of it, but he took down Chris Danger, risking his own body. And there's nothing the referee can do here. He can take Chris wherever he wants to take him, and he's going to toss him out. Right into the crowd, no holds barred. But now Chris doesn't want any part of this. Chris doesn't want any part of the crowd here. These two going back and forth, firing on all cylinders. Back and forth, shot after shot after shot. As now Mox wants Chris to come out into the crowd, but again, Chris wants no part of it. And he's doing as much taunting as he wants, and that's gonna... My God, Uranagi. Oh, but Chris Danger battling back. Jon, though, battling back, though, with a right hand. Elbow. Another right hand. Another chop. But Chris reverses. What a back and forth contest here, and a drop kick. My God. Moxley proving his worth here against Chris Danger, but Chris Danger met him with a kick right to the side of the face. He's got a kick right to the side of the face, and a taste of danger on Moxley. Another one. 1, 2, 3, and Chris Danger, unbelievably, gets the win over Moxley. But he can thank AJ Styles for that. My God! Out of nowhere, again, Chris Danger hits the taste of danger and ends Jon Moxley in our main event. My God. What an insane match there. What an insane match. I am sorry, guys. I am at a loss for words there. That was insane, folks. That was absolutely insane. So I thank you guys for joining me for another episode of RCW. We may keep the stream going a little bit for some Super Mega Baseball or whatnot. But I thank you guys for joining me for an amazing episode of RCW, and I hopefully you guys like some of the new designs of the titles and stuff. It's really awesome. I really take pride in making the content that I do for this, and especially RCW, but all of my content, but a majority of my channel and a majority of my brand as Botch TV is wrestling related. So, I take a lot of pride in this show and making the arenas, making the storylines, making the titles, and doing everything that I do for this show, and I've been doing it for a solid 2 years now. And it has been crazy. And, we're getting close to the tail end of 2020, which has been a roller coaster of a year, for lack of a better term. It has been an absolute roller coaster. And I absolutely love getting to give back in this time of need where, people need something to look forward to, people need something to be happy about. And I love doing great things and raising awareness of something that means so much to me. And I think it's something that, from a male perspective, gets swept under the rug. Abuse in any type of format, in any type of form, is not and should not be tolerated. I can tell you the worst thing in the world is when you feel like your significant other doesn't love you, or when somebody says that they love you but they don't show it, or the way they show it is inappropriate or something like that. And I think for me, as a victim of this, and as a victim of relationship abuse, and being in a horrible relationship that I'm currently out of, and it's been a couple years since I've escaped that unhealthy relationship, but I do know now that what real love is. And real love is, it doesn't always have to be, intimacy, or, the kind that you would have between a husband and wife, or a husband and a husband, or a wife and a wife. But, the love of friendship. Vapor, Hot Pink Mess, or Mrs. Vapor. The Real Fat Tony, Slev 86, Yokai Prince, Heavy No More. Disease. So many wonderful people that I've met through streaming, whether it be through Twitch or Trovo. I do know now that what real love looks like, and that for the longest time I never knew what that was. And I know now that it is crucial, and that it is beautiful, and that friendships, and that real love matters, and that it should be a thing. And I thank you guys for coming out for an episode of RCW, and I hope that throughout these streams that people know what this is about. This is about, raising awareness of something that is prevalent in our society, especially during this pandemic, where, maybe people are scared to leave their house, or they can't leave because their abusers are keeping them inside their homes, or, when we were in a really bad state. I don't know how everybody else is over there. Hopefully you're staying safe, staying virus-free, and taking the precautions that you need to take. But for the longest time, we were in this quarantine where everything was locked down, and nobody was going anywhere other than the store. And, when you're in that abusive relationship, where, whether it be domestic or, which is within the home, or you're in a relationship where everything and anything revolves around them, and you can't live your life, which is where I was at. I was like 16 years old in high school, and everything and anything that I did revolved around this person, and I couldn't make a decision for myself. And I understand that when you're in a relationship, it's not always about you, and you have to do things together as a unit. But you also have to set aside time for yourself. Like, even if you live with a person, you're not there with them 24/7 because you got to go to work, you got to do your things. And I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to have a life outside of that person. And to me, that was scary. That now that I think about it, now that I look back on it, it was terrifying. And I never want to be put in that situation again. And I honestly hope that for anybody that finds themselves in that situation, I hope that you realize that it is not a healthy situation. And I hope you do anything in your power to try and get out of it. I also hope that for those of you that aren't in that situation, but you know of someone who is in that situation, try and help them get out of it. Even if they don't realize what that person is doing to them. Because I had friends that opened my eyes and were like, hey, this is not cool, this is not healthy. And this is horrible, and what she's doing is not good. Unfortunately, it was too late. For me, fortunately and unfortunately, she dumped me in a way that was completely horrible, but I got out of it. Luckily, she ended it, because most people who are in that they don't end it. They hold that grudge, they hold that thing, they think that something is still there, and they go after you, and sometimes you can feel unsafe. But luckily, I was able to escape that. And for those of you that may not be in that situation, be wary. Be wary of the signs of abuse. Be aware of the signs. Like, even if you got to look something up on the internet, we have Google now, or things like that. If you notice that your friend's acting a little bit different, especially around their significant other, or they're afraid of their significant other, or something like that, then do something. Because it can be a difference in saving their life. Literally and figuratively, of course. So, I thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have shown, and I appreciate all of you. So with that, I'm gonna stop the recording for RCW here, and I'm gonna keep the stream rolling as we get it going here. But I thank you guys so much, and you guys are awesome.